All right, here we go. Insta-Gate, wood kit, Mr. Fence Academy, Mr. Fence Tools 101. We have a 4-foot gate opening and it's going to have a pretty good rack to it. Let's see how long it takes to put the gate together. I'll talk your way through it. Cool thing about this is we're gonna build a cool looking gate that's strong, clean, unique, and it's gonna outlast a wood gate, that's for sure. We go ahead and slide these together. I'll have to re-drill that center one slightly. We'll get to that. I'm using a DeWalt. What model number is this? A DCF 414. That does 1/4-inch rivets. These holes, as long as it's a standard gate, will be preset for you. It should line up in the center of the routed hole of the vertical. There should be one hole that lines up. Okay, the other holes, there isn't any in the horizontal. And that's so you can get the gate stood up and racked into position. All right, I got one hole here, not quite lined up. All I gotta do is drill it. Not real sure what happened there, but easy fix. Okay, now that's one rivet in each corner. That's gonna be the inside. That's gonna be the top. So I'm gonna flip the gate and lay it back on the ground so I can install a picket on both sides. But just to show you, this gate is gonna go in this opening. Should have about 1 inch. See how easy that racks, and our opening looks good. I like to get it partially, or at least close to the rack, before we attach the hinge and the latch picket. Not the greatest pickets we're working with, but it's what happens when the homeowner decides they want to buy a pressure treated fence. What am I doing? Oh, this way. This way. Got it. The picket will be a 5.5-inch reveal above the top rail. And that's to match the King Plus reveal. And that first picket's going to go on with some self-tappers. These black ones that we provide. Okay, at 5.5 inches above. And the reason why is that those smaller self-tappers are not going to go through the vertical, here's the vertical, and the horizontal at the same time. So we send you with some self-tappers to put in all 4 corners to hold that first picket on. And then the smaller self-tappers will go through the horizontal rail, no problem. This picket, 5.5 inches is here, from the top of the picket to the top of this rail. Flush here next to me, this is flush. Once you have that, I advise to put another mark at 3 inches on this side of the picket. That's the left side of that picket. Come over here, come down 3 inches, put a mark. When I go to hang this gate by myself, that's gonna help me get the top of the pickets lined up by just lining up those 2 marks, okay? Now, the self-tapper, when I go to install it, it cannot be put where this horizontal and the vertical meet. I need to go below that, right there. Same thing on the bottom one. If we get flush with the vertical, Don't put it at that intersection. Like that. Move that up a little bit. Same thing on the latch side. We're going to be a 5.5 inch reveal. Up like this. Come down to mark my 5.5. Make sure that lines up and flush with the outside edge of the gate. That should leave us with a 1 inch reveal, but on the latch opening. Flush the bottom up. That. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that. Okay. Now we're ready to put the hinges on. Okay. When you put the hinge on, you got the center pin and you have the stamped left side and the stamped right side. The piece of metal that's stamped here, this edge, right there, that's the edge that goes in the middle on the edge of that picket, not the center of the hinge pin. And the reason is we're trying to shift this hinge over so that this hole and this hole both line up perfectly with the King Plus verticals that are behind that picket. So we want this hinge right here, so the edge of this stamped metal is on the edge of this picket. Same thing down here. And then we put the self-tappers in it, hold it in place. Make sure that hinge goes 90 degrees to the picket, not parallel with the rail. Okay. Got that. Now we're ready to send the gate up. We're going to get our lags ready for that. We're going to use some 6-inch spacks here. Put those in, they come in the kit. This is where it's helpful if you have another person handy to hold that gate up in position. I don't obviously have that person here right now, but that's okay. I have a piece of brick on the ground. I can use that piece of brick to hold the bottom of the gate approximately where I want it. All right, now I'm going to put these traditional lags into that hinge with a 1/2 inch socket. Now, and put a ratchet strap on the inside. Hook at the top of the gate. I'm sorry. Go from the bottom of the gate to the top of the gate. And then ratchet that up until the rails are running smooth with the fence. I can see that's running pretty smooth. It might need to go up a little more. That looks real good right there. Okay, so once we have that up, we can install the brace. Right here, we gotta drill it first. So it's gonna go in this bottom left-hand hole on the hinge side, the uphill side. We'll drill that out. Take a rivet gun, and the brace. So in this case, I'll need to cut the brace slightly and then re-drill it. I can go ahead and cut that first. You can see it's going to go into the horizontal rail on both ends. I cut it about right there. Use a circular saw. I'm just using a wood blade on a circular saw. Okay. Go ahead and install the top one. Just like that. Go ahead and drill where it intersects in the center. Just like that. Throw a rivet in that. Now you can go ahead and drill all your corners. We can take that ratchet strap off, get out of the way so I can get these over here drilled. I believe that's it. Rivets. I have one hole here, it didn't quite get cleaned out. Rivets don't like to go in if that hole isn't perfect. Okay, one more rivet right there. That's it, all the rivets are in. Hinge screws are in the post. Let's put the other. My straightaway is going to be a little too long for that. Screw gun. Finish putting those hinge screws in at this point. Go ahead and put the latch. You got the wood lags for that. I like to put this on the post first. Just make sure you line it up so the striker, you can put this at any height because the striker 2 bolt holes don't go past this vertical. Pull code, you can put it higher. If you're not dealing with pull code, I like to line it up with that rail. But again, this gate allows you to put that hinge anywhere that you need to. So once that's installed, self-tappers now. I like to put the striker towards the top. Like in this case, I have a little extra room, so I put it towards the top. Like that. Self-tappers into the handle. Again, all this stuff is supplied. There you go. Whew, my goodness. My goodness. I might have to try to make this thing work. Pulled that out a little early, didn't I? I thought that was the last screw. Apparently not. One of the reasons why I like doing that latch first is it gives me something to hold the gate from moving as I screw these on. Looks like we're gonna have a double rip. Oh, good there. Kind of good there. Not great. Rip that down the middle. Bam! There it is. 28 minutes. Clearly under 30 minutes. Looks cool, looks clean, works great. It'll outlast your wood gate. No doubt. That is sexy. Boom. Okay, let's talk about it here. We have a self-tapper black one here that goes through that vertical picket into that vertical upright. There's one here and one here. We put that on as we build the frame on the ground. Same thing on this side. There's one here and there's one here. Those are put in on the ground to hold that picket in place. We don't want to go through the intersection of the rail and the vertical. These three are self-tappers that go into the horizontal rails. So are these three. These two are spacks, 6 inches long. They go into the verticals of the box behind here. And then that's a normal lag with a 1/2 inch head. Self-tappers here, plus self-tappers into the handle. We've got all the rivets on the inside. This looks very clean and neat. The brace is in tension, right? So the brace can prevent this thing from coming down. Because it's in tension, it's the strongest way to do it. Latch catch over here, standard lags. Inside our gate opening, we have a vertical 2x4 running from top to bottom, turn on its side on both of these. So it's clean. I have no cavities, no holes in here. So anywhere you want to mount that latch, you can because of that opening. I'll show you that here. You see that all the way down. Then over here, see that all the way down. This is a King Plus box, right? And so those lags are tied into that 2x4. That's a steel post inside there and a steel post inside there. Very clean and neat. Here's that piece of metal right there that we had to move. That's a critical point. Make sure to get that in the right spot. So that these two lags right here are going right into that vertical box. So there it is. And now you know. It looks cool, it looks clean, it works great, and it's going to outlast your wood gate. Period. Insta-Gate for the win. Take care of your team +1. See you guys.